dude.
Hey everyone, Jim T. Graham with RCGroups live. That's right. You don't know it, but the guys do. I literally just sat down in front of the screen and hit the play button. What time is it? 2:01. I missed it by about 20 seconds. Matt Gunn, let me tell you what my life is. Review, fly, edit, moderate, look at moderation, answer emails, review, fly, edit, late night, World War II gaming.
Yeah, that's me too.
Repeat. Thursday, hit the go button, and here I am.
Well, I don't have I'm going to just say this right now. I respect your dedication to the hobby, your lifelong obsession with.
I live in the dream.
Yeah, I'm doing Cajun Man, by the way. Anyway, my point is my headphones have broken, so I'm sort of adjusting them.
Is
my
that
point
problem?
is, I don't have the moderation aspect, although I have been known to dabble. Not really, just kidding. I don't moderate.
You don't dabble.
I don't know. I don't dabble. No, that is one area I stay out of. I don't moderate, and I don't tell people how to find their banner ads. So that is a huge relief for me.
Well, let's just get on the record right now. I don't actually moderate anymore. In the old days, I was the only moderator on the site for years and years. And so really my only responsibility at this point in time is when people have moderation issues, I go in and make determinations, which is one of the reasons I don't moderate. So when somebody sends me a PM that says, "Here, Jim, you gave me 80 points yesterday for talking about my Aunt Gertrude," I always like to remind them I didn't actually give anybody any points. So
I get the same thing, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I do. It's funny because I just like the rest of the people will do the same thing to me. They'll PM me and they'll say, "Why did I get this? I think it's unfair, blah, blah, blah."
As if you gave it to them.
Yeah. And I like to say I'm an editor with the site. I'm an employee. However, I push the report button just like the rest of you guys.
I saw a report you made this morning. What was it about? It wasn't about dental work, was it?
It was somebody had said,
it's using a derogatory term towards mentally challenged people.
Correct. Yeah. And it actually, somebody else ended up reporting it as well. And I think that triggered it as well. But I'm in the same boat as everyone. I can report something. And if the highly trained group of monkeys, AKA the moderators.
Monkeys.
Yeah, they're monkeys behind us.
Don't call them monkeys.
Yeah, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. It's kind of that old. It's a euphemism. Anyway, if the guys determine that what I reported doesn't break the rules, I don't get any special treatment or anything like that. So
it's true. And one more thing I'll say is the rules actually. Now, I have been a part of some rule making in the past 10 years, but the majority of the rules on RCGroups. Boy, what's up with our live viewer count being so low? What do you think?
Maybe we're not pushing out on all 8 cylinders.
Well, I'm not going to worry about it right now. But the other thing is a lot of the rules are actually rules created by the owner back in the day, and there are not options on whether we can actually enforce them or not. If somebody reports a rule that breaks one of the site rules, it is the moderator's job to actually warn that. If you don't, you might get a phone call, so they have to do those things.
Yeah, it's called pulling rank.
The flip side is the reason I know what's going on is I always check in moderation and I'll tell this to you users out there who care about the forum. I personally, as a guy who uses the forum every day and have since I got in the hobby, I do care about people who are out there just to cause trouble for other users. That's the one thing I'm always looking for. I want to make sure your experience is good. And if I see an issue that's real obvious, then there'll be a moderation meeting and we'll go talk about something and decide. And I'm open. If somebody says, "No, you're wrong," then I'll step back. So anyway, not really what everyone was logging in to hear about, but that is a part of the daily deal.
It sure is. And it's good stuff.
Jason Cole, look at this explosion of FP Venus. I'm not kidding you. I have had everything out for the last 48 hours.
Easy.
Right here you can see my
that's my trademark line. I only call it as I see it.
Be your signature. Right here you can see my Headplay SEs, red and black. Thank you very much, Jim T. Graham. Colors of power.
Wait, aren't those the original ones?
Yeah, those are OGs. But down here you got the Kawasaki Axial. Well, I'm just making up names of green here, but the green are the new SE Headplay goggles. By the way, since we unboxed it, I have had a lot of time in the goggles. menus, DVR, the whole thing. I just put the review up. Jason actually just read it.
And
I think for me, do we want to go straight into that?
yeah, let's do it. We're here.
Why not? We're here to talk RC.
You're right.
Had a good RC week.
Nice shirt you got on there, brother. Who'd you get? Who made that?
Maticus Gunnicus.
Yeah, show them the back of it. That's a little easier said than done.
This is a half shirt. I've cut the bottom half off.
Oh, dude, you have a tank top.
Matt, I want to say that I did go into Wikipedia to look up because you had said the Gun clan fought the Graham clan in Scotland, and I wanted to see if that was actually true or not. I could find no historical reference on where your family actually was in a feud with mine.
Oh, man. So that giant crest that I have hanging right above right here that says "Guns hate the Grahams" doesn't mean anything. Look at those buttes.
Okay, so we did an unboxing the other day of this, and somebody was like, "Boy, why do you do unboxings?" I'm gonna say it one more time. There's only 3 of these in the country. I would think you would want to see the unboxing. I would, So I do it for those who do.
Boring.
If you don't want to watch it, go watch NFL Pro Wrestling. I don't know.
There's actually a channel for that.
So anyway, here's some things, and I should know because the reason I was 1 or 20 seconds late to get the podcast started is because I was trying to get that review out as fast as I could. If you love Headplays, that's what these are. If you love Headplays and feel you need to do a few modifications, I believe that's what we have on our hands here. So while it's not a diversity receiver, it is an upgraded receiver from Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe the LCD screen is slightly different. I don't have a verbal proof on that yet. And then what we have here now, I understand things more when he asked me not to show the other side of this DVR because this is a prototype and not the production, but it is almost exactly what you're going to get.
Okay.
This is an external DVR. It's not set in the plastic here. Although if you were Johnny Cool, I'm sure you could figure that out.
Yeah, rip into it.
What we didn't see. The plug, which I said in my review, is one of the reasons I love these. On other goggles, they have that barrel plug, power plug, and thing, and mine always go bad and create an intermittent power failure, which is the very last thing you want while you're flying.
Agreed.
Does this ever happen to you guys?
Oh my God, yeah. If I've lost power before, I just go and I hold my.
Does the barrel plug?
I have never had a bad barrel plug connector ever.
It's happened to me on 2 different sets. So anyway, this is awesome.
Must treat them like hell, Jimmy.
What we didn't see, is that this actually has a plug built into the onboard or whatever. It plugs directly into the DVR. So there's no soldering going on. And what that gives you is, the way it was working for me, is you have AV1, which is exactly what you're seeing coming off the unit, the quad or the airplane. Click it to AV2 and you're still seeing what's coming off your quad, but now you have a full DVR menu set up. So you see the mic is on, the SD card's in, and the record light and the length of time after you hit the record button. So that's what the onboard DVR is. The other thing now, I don't think my unit has it. This has an auto scan on the receiver. So if I hold this button down for 5 seconds, it scans the channels and finds my.
And that is a race band receiver. So the chance of getting very close but being off by, you know how that can be a problem. You can get on and you'll be off by just a few, half a megahertz or whatever, and so it'll look fine up close until you get 200 feet out, and next thing you know, it's starting to cut, and you're like, well, this isn't good. And next thing you know, you're done. So I've had that happen plenty of times, especially with the Furious FPV diversity receiver, which here it is right here, which I've had some bad luck with doing that.
Jim, is there an OSD on the Headplay SDs that tell you what frequency you're on?
No, but this top unit gives you A, B, C, D, and then your number.
Right.
So that's at least more of a reference than what you normally get. Now, I was talking about this at the field. Jason and I went to the field. Jason, do you have video from that we're going to look at today? Do you have anything cut?
I've got a clip of the P51 that I haven't uploaded yet. It's just on my desktop.
Oh, before I jump topics here, the other thing that comes in the box is he calls them binocular magnifiers.
That's the Russian word for
I might get in trouble.
specs.
Vova might not appreciate. I don't know. He didn't tell me not to, but I said, "Hey, man, these look just like." And if you've watched me at all, you know that I work with RHO lenses. When I say work with, I found them on the internet and stuck them in my first head plays, and they changed everything for me. This is V2 of RHO. So when these were in the little, here it is. These came in the little side box, and I was like, "Hey, wait a minute." So I actually looked at these with my magnifiers, and they say RHO on this unit. So these are RHO lenses, $40+. Okay, so these come in the unit as well. So you get the wired in DVR, better sensitivity on your receiver, better LCD screen, and these. So it's like your head plays and everything a guy like me needs.
Did we get a price point yet on this thing?
I don't have a price point. As far
Hey,
as
I'm not sure what's happening, but it's like stuck on my face again on the actual YouTube feed.
That's me.
I don't know why, but it is.
No, it's me.
That's
sorry.
better.
I forget sometimes.
What happened?
I'll touch somebody's on-screen face and it will cut to them, and then I'll forget that I need to touch it again. So there's your thing, your monitors. The thing I was gonna go get is I have a video transmitter that tells you exactly the channel that you're on, and I love it because there's no guessing if you are gonna lose a signal when you go too far out.
Well, that's so for me right now. After our day at the field Tuesday, these EFXtra goggles 2 are now my go-to most favorite set of goggles right now.
Really?
DVR on those?
There's no DVR. Now that sucks, but there's never been a DVR on regular, faceplate goggles like this before, just on the Fat Sharks. But now with diversity receiver, that worked brilliantly. It's lighter, it's more comfortable, it's smaller than the head plays for me. I still like
it slices, it dices, it juliennes.
But the best part is it's an auto scan receiver, but it has an OSD and it tells me the exact frequency that I'm tuned to. So I just look in and see, all right, I'm on exactly where I know I need to be. And it's just really nice. It works really well.
Hey man, I'm digging that Terry sticker placement. It never occurred to me to use Terry on the front and RCGroups down the side.
Well, I didn't. Yeah, it wouldn't fit the way this is molded. It didn't really look good just on the front, so I did a little side approach. But anyway, if I could get this with a DVR built in, I don't want. I mean, the external thing's cool, and that's okay. It's plug and play. It's not soldering, but it's still. It looks DIY, right? It doesn't look factory or production. It's if I could get something with a little. In the nose plate is the SD card slot or something integrated into a set of goggles like this, that would be great. And I still know we're in this, I guess we're midlife now for FPV stuff. I think all this analog stuff's going to be going away at some point in the future. Who knows if that's 2 years or 10 or 6 months away. But I think all this stuff's going, old school. Is we're going to be laughing at what we had in 2017.
Nice.
In the not too distant future. So
does that have HD in?
This has HDMI on the side. We've talked about these before, but I just, after actually using them, this is my favorite set that I own right now.
Now, are these the same unit that Nick picked for his 2016 favorite thing?
I don't think so. These are brand new.
We should start something called Nick's Picks.
I've got the other version, the EFXtra Goggles 1, and I liked it because I could mount my Connex HD, receiver on top with. Remember that picture with all the 5 antennas sticking up, and it would plug in, and that was cool. But I like this set even better than that due to the diversity, the OSD with the channel number, the lightness of it. I like this set a lot better. So
like it a lot.
Pretty happy with that.
I was waiting for that.
I think Jason usually the one who says that.
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
All right, so I have an airplane story to tell, but Jason, I want you to talk about the new HK Extra.
I don't want to talk about that yet.
Oh,
maybe
I better take that out
before this show ends. I've got a cool
You got it in the title.
No,
it's cool. No.
Yeah, we can talk about it. Okay, well then let's talk about this.
I want to see if our special guest comes on before I do it or not.
Well, then let's get straight to this. All right, look, I'm gonna click off your face, Jason.
Click off face, please.
Bam. Okay. Hey, we had this on last week. We actually took it to the field and flew it. And I'm just going to, my overviews, I'm teaching my son how to write paragraphs. My leading sentence is, this is a great all around FPV craft, I think, for anybody. So, not just for racing, but for, if you want to have an FPV winged craft, I think this thing is awesome. It's little, it's light. We were flying it in moderate winds. It didn't care. And the AS3 launch switch, the way we were doing it is we would take it and throw it, throttle off. And then after it left our hand, we would throttle up. And so I forget what was happening with you, Jason. Why was that wing going like this on you?
Well, it was just, you're throwing it from behind, and I hold it from the little tab in the bottom and put my finger on the plastic part of the back.
Yeah.
And I'm using that finger to kind of like shove it, right? So I was throwing it left-handed, and I must have been putting some English in it, because I would shove it and it would almost roll inverted 180 degrees.
So as he's throwing it,
but it should hold itself level, right? With the gyro in it.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't hold itself level. It will correct.
Mine does.
The force, it does, but if you can get it to spin, but what would happen is, in the matter of a split second, it would go almost inverted and then immediately level out all by itself.
So we were trying to
it can't, it's only got so much gain.
Well, no, actually, what I think was happening is we were trying to get more of a view on how it actually kicked in, so we wouldn't throttle up right off the bat. So at one point, Jason said, "Throw it and don't throttle up. Is wait a little bit, then throttle up." So it would start cranking like this, and when he flipped the switch, bam! It would level itself and land. So. We had two bad throws that the launch mode saved.
Well, it wasn't, the switch was already in the what is it called, takeoff
launch mode.
It was in launch mode. The switch was already in launch mode, so I didn't have to touch any switches. I threw it. The throw would be off cant, and then it would auto level, and then you don't have to touch anything, and it just flies level.
And the beauty is,
but it was just interesting how you can have a completely crap throw
this,
and it takes care of itself without you having, especially if you're right-handed. I'm lefty, so it makes it easy. But if you're right-handed, you got your hand off the control stick, right? So if you throw and you just do a total crap launch, it'll auto level for you before you even have to touch the stick. So pretty cool.
And then the other side is, if you're in the goggles, you literally could just toss this thing and not, I'm always concerned I'm gonna crash it when I'm throwing it, and that is gone. You don't have to worry about with this. The other thing is, yeah, go ahead.
Is it fast? Is she like would it be a good spec class race wing, or is it competitive with a different, breed of, the faster ones, 100 miles an hour? What is she doing?
Jason can speak to that.
Yeah, it's pretty dang fast. And I think if you're going to be serious racing, you're probably going to want to upgrade the motor, but it's really fast stock. Don't get me wrong.
Like 80-ish, 90-ish.
Be great spec class, maybe even close to 100, maybe. It started screaming once it ramped up. The thing for me is I didn't really like the AS3X, and that could just be the tune that it had. Right. It was kind of buffeting around, and it was responding a little bit weird to me at certain times when I've tried to do something on the sticks. So you probably could just tune that down a little bit, and it'll probably make it better.
So that was my question. Your preference would be to tone down the gains on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you one more thing that happened. I don't think we talked to Matt about this because I think we stopped ourselves. We had a theory that we had a bad receiver on here because when we were on the ground,
video transmitter,
not a receiver. When we were on the ground, we were getting ready to fly it, and there was another guy at the field. Do you remember his name?
I don't remember his name.
He's there a lot. He's a big FPV guy, and I got a video call coming in from someone I can't mention.
Why is he calling? He's calling me too.
I'm going to decline it. And why don't you send him the link and tell him he needs to go directly to that link, Jason?
Yeah.
So the thing was jumping channels. And I thought maybe I had something weird in the transmitter that was making, because they do have the ability to switch channels via the DS or the, okay, I'm losing it here. The 6E will change channels. Well, there's nothing coming off of that video transmitter to the receiver.
Right.
So here's the end of the story. We moved it over to a Fat Shark channel and it seemed to stay. And so Jason, my goggles weren't jumping on that frequency, and Jason's were his favorites. And I said, will you fly it and let's see if we can get some DVR off of this thing. And as he's in the air, I said, man, if you lose signal, hit launch mode and throttle down. And so we got probably enough to do a review off of, but he did lose signal and he hit launch mode, throttled down, and this thing just went, whoa, gee, just landed in the pasture. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was really weird for me because I was flying along and all of a sudden you see it kind of do like this weird discolored thing, and then it was total static, and I'm like, crap. So we hit launch mode switch and I throttled back, and then I'm asking questions like,
where is it? Do you see
it? What do I need to do? Do I need to turn or pull up? Like, because I was like, is it going towards trees? You know, do we need to still fly this thing? But no, it just flew itself all the way to the ground perfectly fine.
So auto land function.
Yeah, essentially, it's auto takeoff and auto land.
That's obvious. We were and are certain that was a issue with the video transmitter, which we have another one coming. But the thing that I really took from that was that this thing can land itself if you get into some kind of trouble.
So for me, that is freaking brilliant. So any of like my 51 that I've been showing you guys, there's no autopilot. It's just pure raw flying. If I have a video issue, it's going 100 miles an hour, it's toast. Like it's going to auger in or hit something and it's going to be completely bad. I love that feature that you can just flip it in that throttle down and it's going to basically land itself as long as there's nothing for it to hit, impact on the way in. But that's just, it gives you a little bit of peace of mind. It's kind of like having a full autonomous autopilot system. You can trigger return to home or loiter or whatever and have it save itself and fly. But it makes me more leery now with flying without that kind of a system on board.
I really like it. I'm really excited to be the owner. Some things you buy, you get to review and you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. I would spend real money for this thing. I think it's awesome. Plus,
good to know.
Somebody posted on YouTube, once again, these wings pop off. So you have this centerpiece and a wing, and you could totally put that in a suitcase. Now, if I'm going to Mexico soon and I could fly this on the beach if I wanted to, I don't know that I would make it back with this from Mexico. I think it might magically disappear from my bag.
Yep. Well, I like it, man. It's a good flying wing. It adds to their, their Manta line and the Optimus line. Isn't it Optima? What is it? What's the big one?
Terminus, Eldorado.
Optimus Prime.
That's what reference is that? Terminus Eldorado. How are we doing, Jason? We have a special guest we're trying to get on.
It may not work. He's having some difficulties and then might have to leave.
What if I
take a son to daycare here in a little bit?
What if I invite him directly from the thing? Why don't you can you send him a link and invite?
I sent the same link that we used to jump on for us, so that should work.
Can you do the person invite?
Maybe. Let me invite people.
I don't see him in my list here.
I don't either.
There are random people I could invite though, in case this doesn't work. I may just hit it and see what.
That's funny.
We're gonna.
He's not getting the right thing when he clicks on it.
Could be a country issue. Problematic. Oh, wait! I see a face.
I don't.
Not on our screen.
Did you do the links button at the bottom right-hand corner?
Matt, we need you to talk.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, you talk about something. We're going to work on this.
Oh, man. I don't know what to talk about. I don't think I have anything front and center. I was just sort of, enjoying the feed and all what you guys were talking about. I got something to talk about.
He's winging it, folks.
No, I got something. Here we go. Check this out. Ready? Look at this.
Dang.
Oh, yeah, you got nothing to talk about. What is that?
Look at this monster. Can you put it on me? I can barely
it's on you.
I could barely hold this thing up.
We want to get hit in the head by that.
This thing has got to be 30 pounds of or 20 pounds of machine in here. Look at the battery in the back there sticking out. That is a 16,000 6S. So this is the HobbyKing aperture, and it's a rebranded unit. It goes by another name, but the cool thing about this is that it has an Autopilot or it has a Pixhawk in it. So it is fully autonomous. It can do waypoint and all that sort of stuff. You can hook it up to oh my gosh, I totally forgot the name, and I used to use it.
I was fully autonomous, but then I got married.
Yeah, there you go, buddy. You can hook it up to the Autopilot software. What is I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, the good thing about this is that it's a good heavy lifter, and it has landing gear on it, and it'll fly for a good 30 minutes. So I decided I'd do a review on this based not on aerial photography, not hauling around a gimbal, because everything does that. That's all we do now with multi-rotors and quads, is we strap a camera to them and we rate them on their ability to provide beautiful cinematic video and clean photos, right? That's all we do with these things. And it seems that DJI has that sort of in the bag, right? So I decided, why not create a sort of utilitarian review where I'm actually using this thing for other purposes other than aerial photography and video. And one of them is going to be like, I don't know, say you want to, like Jim, what you did, you had to haul a rope up over a tree, right?
Right.
For your buddy, and you almost crashed your quad. Well, this could do it all day. I'm actually going to put a drop mechanism on the bottom of it so it can drop something such as a life preserver or something like that. What if I live on the lake, and what if you had a boat stuck, or you had somebody that was offshore, or they were, floating in the water, and you had to get to them? You could send this out there and drop a life preserver near them. It flies very well. It flies very stable, and it's got a nice long distance that it can travel line of sight. So I'm thinking that other uses besides aerial photography, the aperture might be a great rig for that. So awesome. And it's only like $600, man. The whole thing ready to fly.
Ship that to you to review?
Yeah.
Did you just get it? Because I haven't even heard about this.
No, I got it. I got it about almost a month ago, but I was waiting for batteries. And the problem with the batteries is that there's only a few types that'll fit in it. And so I ended up just getting the Venom batteries for it. That'll fit right in the back. So it was sort of a review on hold. It was just sitting for a while. I was waiting for the batteries and whatnot. Now that I got them, and I just did a test flight the other day, this thing is freaking heavy, man. Holy moly.
Well, you don't work out, so this is probably good.
I know. Look at that. So it should be a fun one to fly. And I can't wait to, haul up my son in a small chair underneath it. And that's all I got. Did you guys get your problems sorted?
5 minutes. 5 minutes, he says.
Oh.
I think he was trying on his phone. He's got to be on a desktop browser.
Oh, yeah, you can do it on your phone. I'm going to share a screen here.
Yeah, here's the transmitter that it comes with. Just a little quantum, no frills unit. It has different flight modes, and it actually has like a all the standard stuff, circling around. It has an acro mode where it doesn't have any sort of any sort of GPS other than standard stabilization. And then it's got your GPS and altitude modes, things like that. So pretty cool.
And you said it's like $600.
Yeah, it's 600 ready to fly minus the battery. So pretty
awesome. Cool. Hey, while we're talking about the SEs from Headplay, I thought I'd play a video. So there's a full review on this on RCGroups. You can check it out in our FPV section, FPV equipment. But here, are y'all seeing my video here?
Let me take a look. Yep.
So here I am flying my Tiny Whoop through the Headplay goggles using the onboard DVR. And I don't know, man. You know, Matt, I know you usually shrink your images to fit the screen size, but I just blew this up full size. I think it looks exactly what I saw in my goggles, if not better.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that seems to be one of the few that
looks. This dog come over the couch. Hold on. I think I'm going to turn, and the dog is going to bound over that leather couch like he don't care. Wow, there it is.
Oh, he's coming. Is he coming to get it?
No, there's somebody at the door. There's the other dog at the window. So this is my alarm system. If you're thinking about coming to give me a visit, that blonde dog right there will rip your arteries out of your neck.
Wow, that's pretty hefty.
Anyway, so there's a DVR coming off those goggles. And it was simple. I sat down, I made sure I had a feed, I hit the button, and then I went downstairs and it was all there. The other thing I say in the video is you can watch the videos that you shot in the goggles immediately after you shoot them. So when Jason and I are shooting a review, sometimes I go home and didn't get the dang video. And so now I can actually view them in my goggles and see exactly what I have. Hey, honey.
Like,
hey, that's a Futaba jacket.
Who's got a Futaba jacket on? Your wife?
Right there. Yeah.
Oh.
Headplay. All right. I'll stop.
Sizzler.
Jason Collier, haircut's nice.
Oh, gosh. What the heck?
Hey, I didn't make one haircut reference last week at all.
Oh, this is true.
Hey, while we're waiting, let's look at some RC news.
All right. And then also we have some users on the live chat here.
Shall I go into
Here's a gratuitous plug.
Yeah.
All right. Nope. Let's go to Matt Gunn.
Oh, you got it on me now?
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
Hey, by the way, everyone, I know where Matt Gunn's going to go first. He's going to go to the A10 contest, which is awesome. Did you see the video with the guy making the A10 face and making the Barat noise gun?
No, I didn't see that one yet. I've been following it and I missed that one. That must have gone on today, right?
I guess so. We're giving away
so many good ones. It's crazy.
By the way, this contest idea is where you have to, grit your teeth, and it's totally lame.
Let's take a picture. Totally let's take a picture of Matt Gunn. Let's take a look at Matt Gunn's photo right down there.
Where? Oh, here we go. All right, there we are.
Yeah, you look like the trainer from Rocky. You get him, Rock.
Yeah, seriously. And then there's this guy.
Look at his eyes.
Looks like a deranged pirate.
If someone breaks into your house, that's the face you
want. You look like a guy on what's that? On
Crystal Meth?
You're on Flocka. He's on Flocka, and he's got to chew a face off in southern Florida.
Oh my God!
Smoked.
And then there's this with
Yeah, I just want to note ZB flexing in the background.
Dude, he's like he's almost, he needs a bra on, man. Look at him. He's pushing them things out.
Not only is ZB handsome, look at that hair. I'd pay $1,000 to have that hair right there. Maybe
close to it. So there's our FMS A10 Warthog feature here where you can win one.
$469 retail, FMS quality, and everybody loves it. Go to pay. Well, there is not this. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going up.
A lot of people posted their dogs.
This guy right here. Now, those are some. Now, well, that guy's got a machine gun in his mouth. I didn't notice that.
Thought it was he thought he was what is he, Hannibal from the A-Team with his cigar in?
Hey, everybody. We have a special guest. We're breaking away from the FMS contest. It's Stuart from HobbyKing.
Am I on? Is this working?
You're on. Yeah.
I want
Jason. Hey, Jim.
Can I brag on you for a second, Stuart?
Sure. Can you hear me okay? Is that all right?
I think it's as good as any guest we've ever had, audio and video.
Thank you.
A lot of the airplanes that you fly from HobbyKing that you love, I believe Stuart had his hand on. So I know there's an airplane coming from me that I'm excited about, a little Cub. I don't think I can talk about it right now, but I know that was your airplane, right?
We can talk about that later if you want. That's fine.
Okay. All right. And then what about
in fact, you can be the first official mention of it. How about that?
All right. That sounds good. You know what I will suggest, Stuart, is to find a stationary place.
That's what I'm trying to do now. Give me a second.
I thought you were dancing.
You can stare at the stuff in my garage.
Yeah, the pile. I'm going to find the post about the Cub here and have that standing by.
Well, so you can tell how well prepared I am for this. There we go. Trusty old suitcase.
Good
and some
Friday
odds in the back
morning
there.
to you there, by the way.
Thank you. What's the noise? I'm in my garage and it's an apartment block and it's near a road, so it's quite noisy. Anyway.
Nah, we can't hear anything.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, I think that's a pretty good setup.
So Stuart, were you responsible for the Tundra, the breakout plane of 2016?
That was my baby. Yeah, it's even got my wife's name in the back of it. If you look in the back of the model, I molded in my wife's name.
Wow,
That's awesome, dude.
What kind of points
cool.
does
I got a lot of points with that one, but then I had the whole family wanting the same. So pretty much every plane now has one of a family member's name in it.
Hidden somewhere, yeah.
This is the first time that anyone in the world has found out that HobbyKing is run out of this basement. Everything that you get comes right out of this basement.
This is my packing operation right now.
That's where the magic happens.
Yeah,
So you're in Australia right now, right, Stuart?
Yeah, this is my garage in Sydney. We've got an apartment here. Basically, the marketing office moved to Sydney, and I came over with them. So, yeah, I would say sunny Sydney, but it's actually pissing down with rain right now. So it's not very sunny at all.
So let me ask you this. I know that you're familiar with, Jason and I worked at Hobby Lobby, and we did a lot of reviews off the hill there with Mike Hines back in the day. And
Yeah,
I have heard you.
Place. That's the place I want to visit.
Did you get that, Jason? Did that work for you?
What?
What did you say?
That's my fantasy place. That's the place I really want to visit.
Yeah.
Stuart, why don't you come see us in Nashville?
I'd like to. I'd really like to.
It's a whole other world.
America. I'd like to make that happen. I'd love to fly that spot. That spot. People don't know this, but it's got a special place for me because that's where I'd watch the old alpha model videos from Hobby Lobby. Well,
and let me say, who's calling me? As guys that were actually there, it was as cool in real life as it seems on video. Don't you think, Jason?
Yeah, totally. It's a brilliant place. It's a lot of fun. So I'm definitely privileged to have been there all these years.
I look forward to it. I want to do that for sure.
Yeah, man. Well, we were there Tuesday, and I got to fly this little piece of work.
So this is everyone's favorite airplane from the day. My favorite part about this airplane was how it whistled when it was hauling buttocks across the field.
Buttocks. So this is the Durafly EFXtra. You might recognize it because it's basically a V2 of the EFX racers I did a review on last year. And Stuart, you guys nailed it with this one, man. Oh my gosh, I just was so giddy after the first flight. It was amazing. It's so fast. The clip wings, the bigger battery bay, the bigger motor, the nice aluminum spinner. I gotta love that thing. That is awesome.
It looks good, right? That spinner.
Yeah, so great.
Yeah. To be fair, we had a good starting point with the original EFX, and it just took a lot longer than it should have done actually because I was distracted by other projects. These other projects, by the way, I'll be revealing in the next couple of weeks. I'm just glad to have it finally out and have the refinements that it really deserved and needed to make it just that much better.
Pushing well over 100 mile an hour.
They chopped the wings on it so it has a killer roll rate.
Awesome hardware, just like the original. And the best part, this is line of sight.
I was just going to say, I can't claim that wing clip as my own because I was at Joe Knoll and I was speaking to an RCGroups member and he showed me his EFX that he'd done it with. I was like, Jesus, that's brilliant. I'll just take that idea and put it in the EFXtra.
And you get more in the kit than just this, though, right? So one of the things, I'm a slope pilot by heart. I did that 3 years when I started RC. So you get a nose cone that you can pull the spinner and prop off, tape on the nose cone, and then turn it into a slope model. Awesome. Yep. And then
what does that even mean? What does that mean? Does that mean that you're powerless and you're just
dynamic soaring? You're using lift
you're flying off slope lift. Yeah.
Okay.
The updraft on a mountain.
Yeah.
And then if you want to get even fancier, you can pull the canopy off the battery hatch
and
put in this guy. So
What?
this is
An FPV pod.
An FPV pod. It's wooden. They give it to you in the kit. You got to glue it together. But it houses your camera and your video transmitter, and then you put a little balance tap off your battery and plug that in.
Will it take 4S input?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, it depends on your equipment, right? So it's whatever.
Yeah, VTX dependent.
Yeah, it's whatever. Yeah, video transmitter and camera you put on there. But now you've got 100+ mile/hour FPV rocket, and it is a blast.
The only problem I have with this airplane is that it's so fast. I couldn't really shoot very good video. Did you get any video off of it, Jason?
I haven't got to review that footage. I just finished the P-51, the other FPV plane I was reviewing, because that's got to go out tomorrow. So I was working on that. This thing is a whistler.
It's
this
like
is so fast.
Whistles when it goes by. Just
and it is locked in on rails. I mean, it flies smoother than I remember from my EFX racer. It's been a while since I've flown one, but
how fast?
Yeah, I found the same actually.
Yeah,
smoother.
Just locked
and
in.
How fast? 100+?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I didn't want to concentrate purely on the speed of this because we knew that people were fitting 6S motors in it and going really, weren't going very fast for very long. So it's got more speed for sure, but it's the other bonuses you get as well. You get a reinforced wing, the clip wing tip for a better roll rate. You've used more high torque servos. That's probably why you find it flying a little more locked in than it was before.
Mm-hmm.
And then the FPV pod and the slope nose cone, and then the internal capacity. You could only fit up to I think people were really struggling to shoehorn in a 2200 force before. Now you can fit up to a 2600 in there.
Yeah, that is a very welcome change. It's so much bigger inside to put your batteries. It's just great.
And
really.
So we have sorry.
Look, sorry, go on.
I was going to say we have a full flight video, and Jason's working on that review as we speak.
Thank you very much. And before I interrupted you, I just wanted to say that those pilots that do want to fit 6S in it, it's the same motor you would use for 6S. So you just need to go down to I think it's like a 5-inch prop, up your speed controller to a minimum of say 80 amps, and fit that 6S pack, like a 6S.
Holy cow!
1500 or something like that. Ooh. And then you can go really fast for 2 minutes.
2 minutes, right? That would be insane. It's great. I think the 4S, the 2400, is awesome. That's my favorite pack. You can fly on a 3S, a little bit bigger prop if you guys wanted to, and slow it down slightly. But man, the 4S is fun. It's just so fun.
Yeah, actually, this time around, I preferred the 3S just because it's actually almost as fast as the 4S, but it gives you that little bit more flight time. And I found that when flying FPV, I didn't need to go as fast as I thought I did to enjoy it. Even on 3S, I could enjoy it.
How fast is too fast for FPV?
FPV on 6S is really quite something. Ooh. That's crazy. Yeah.
Man,
I want to talk about this is a new Cub from Stuart, and I don't know if y'all been hearing me talk about this on the podcast, the live broadcast, but I've been looking for something with landing gear that I can take off and land and do some knife edge flight and things like that. And this popped up. Tell us about this bird, Stuart.
This is it's a model that we had before, and we've revamped it basically. It's similar to what we did with the B-17 last year. Essentially, models that I like, I asked if I can do V2s, and if people agree, then they become V2s. And the cool thing about this, it's got a fully ABS molded glass cockpit, and ABS is much better for seeing through than the traditional PVC that's used for canopies and cockpits on models. Mm-hmm. So I stuck a pan and tilt in there, and it will come with a pan and tilt mounting module, and this thing really comes alive when you fly FPV. Because it's just like flying the real thing. You're looking out over your wing and over the fuselage side and down. When you bank, and you're feeding in rudder and aileron at the same time to do a nice coordinated turn, visually aided by the FPV. You can see the prop turning. You have to When you're taxiing on the floor, you have to do like an S taxi,
wow.
full size. And then you look out the window, you got the wing struts and everything, and it's a really smooth ride. So on 3S, you can get about, I don't know, 15 minutes of very cool under the hood scale FPV.
That's cool.
It really does it well. So we put a new scheme on it. We made it look pretty, and there it is. It's ready to go.
Super nice. And then there's a brother to this plane.
Yes, there is. There we go.
Good looking T-28.
That's the super exclusive.
And we're reviewing both of these things. I've got to think they're probably somewhere traveling across the world right now, headed our way.
Yep.
Now, does this one also have the acrylic glass on it, or the acrylic canopy?
No, but it's got a PVC, but the best form of PVC we had for FPV, because it does have the FPV pod. The difference is this is a nice, big, open, curved cockpit. So the what's it called? The image deformation that you would usually get with PVC is not really noticeable on this one. But again, it has the FPV pod, and it's basically the most scale T-28 you're likely to see at this size.
Very flappy.
I remember when I first did my back in 2009 when I was doing FPV. I had the Park Zone, or no, what is it? Which one is the original T-28?
The Park Zone one.
Yeah, so I had the Park Zone one, and I literally cut out the canopy with exception of the hoops and the uprights there, the yellow pieces, and just flew it like that. So it was almost like, yeah, I guess you would. It looked really nice, you know, and it was sort of that feel. So I'm glad to see there's a good clear canopy on there, and you still get that being inside the cockpit.
With the T-28, it's good, but with the Cub, it's especially.
Oh good. Yeah. Now, flying two of these in tandem would just be absolute thrill to have two of them up there at once.
Yeah. And the pan and tilt really helps. That's the thing that we found. Because it's just a fixed camera, we were trying to get staged race footage for the promo that we've been shooting recently. And of course, because you can't look over your wing, you're just flying like this, and you don't know where the guys you're meant to be chasing. So it's it was a lot of fun. Put it that way.
And I've got my new focal.
When you're racing, it doesn't matter because you're just concentrating on yourself. You don't want to formate on the guy next to you.
Right.
But when you're trying to do it purposely without pan and tilt, yeah, it's quite interesting.
I've got some new Fat Sharks with wireless pan and tilt, so I'm excited to get those hooked up and rolling with this thing. For me, for fixed wing, it's pan and tilt. It's really enjoyable. We put it on the Tundra. We put it on as much stuff as we can now. And just fixed wing in general. I enjoy FPV. I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy FPV a lot more on fixed wing than I do on quads.
Yeah, me too, man. 100%.
And Stuart, for your pan and tilt, do you prefer head tracking or switch slider tracking?
Oh, no. Head tracking. Yeah, all day long, head tracking.
Head tracking? Yeah. Do you find you get a lot of drift in your setup, or do you have to constantly reset?
No, I did on my old, is it the Attitudes? They were really bad for it. But then I got the, is it the Dom HD3s or whatever the latest ones are. With the head tracking module, slot that in, and I get a much wider range, but without the recentering issue.
Cool.
Yeah, that made it very, very cool. And then, if I can talk about FPV still, I saw you were talking about an FPV wing. I might have something to show you in the coming weeks with regards to that.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, I think maybe Matt, you'd be the one to get your hands on that. Is that the case?
Yeah, definitely. I got that's what I want, man. I got unfortunately where I live is
snowed in.
No. Let me say my piece here, man. It's known for being snowed in. However, we've had a very, very, very mild winter. So it's wonderful outside for a week. Then it snows. Then it's not good. Then it snows. So when another FPV plane came up that I've been wanting for a while, a wing, I got poo-pooed on, for lack of a better word, because of where I live. They're like, well, I don't want to send that one there because I know it's going to snow.
And I got the opposite. I got the opposite of poo-pooed on.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what's the opposite of getting poo-pooed on.
That's when the wing lands on you. Dude,
So yeah, I'd love to hear about it when it comes out, man.
Hey,
But, yeah.
Stuart, I got to tell you, I was at the airfield, and I was the guy that there was a pilot out there flying quads, and everybody was gone, but he and we were geeking out FPV conversation style. Oh, the blah blah and the blah and the two, and it's only this and it's that. And so I said, I think I'm going to get a Bixler 3 as my next. I'm always flying. I tend to have one airplane, and people send me cameras, video transmitters, and all these things to test out. And I have a single plane that I move things around on. And I crashed my last one. And so I said, hey, I think I'm going to get a Bixler 3. And the guy goes, oh, I've got a Bixler 3 and I love it. It's the best.
I got one too, man. Love it.
So the Bix the Bix is the guy, I think, out there. I think it's kind of an industry standard FPV winged craft at this point in time.
I think that was meant to be like the definitive version of a Bixler. Although that said, I'm sure we're never satisfied, so I'm sure there's going to be another one at some point. But I don't work on the Bixlers, so that's I'm not in the Bixler department or the Bix department. There's another department for that.
One thing I forgot to say, with the new racing wing that Jason purchased, you know how it has the swept back silver piece for the camera?
Yeah.
I think, can you hold that up, Jason? I think that should be the helmet of a pilot. So instead of just a random piece of silver, it should actually be like the pilot head pilot, and then your camera lens would be the face shield.
Oh, like a cartoon, like sort of.
Yeah, kind of space.
Well, that canopy,
pilot sits back here.
Oh yeah.
Right. The cylinder head. That's what it is. It's a cylinder head.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a hot rod.
It's an exhaust.
It just looks so much like a.
Actually, Jim, that part is going to be a 3D file, a 3D printable file that we'll have on the listing. So you can change it if you want. So you'll have the basic parameters of it, and then change it up as you see fit.
Awesome. So I could put a guy with a cowboy hat on there, and then the hat could be an SFG, an extra lifting.
Might be a little drag on that one, but
yeah, you really want it for the aerodynamics at the speeds that this is going.
Braids hanging off, flying in the wind behind it, like tassels, baby. Yeah.
Wow, that's what we need.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
All right, Stuart, what do you have coming that no one knows about other than the wing that we're excited about that you're going to break here on the show?
Well, no one knew about the T28, but that's there now, so that's cool.
Yeah, and the Cub.
And the Cub. Other than that, there's things that I'd love to tell you.
I'm sure.
I'd be in so much trouble if I did. That said, it's only a few weeks away until I can start really knocking those ones out and revealing them to the world. Some very cool stuff. You can see I'm fond of the FPV applications in terms of pan and tilt, so you'll be seeing a lot more of that. Specifically in one bigger model that's coming that I'm really pleased to show you guys. It's going to be a very interesting year for HobbyKing. 2016, I think, was difficult for a lot of businesses, and certainly it was a tough year for us. But for 2017, we're hitting planes hard, so there's going to be a lot of plane announcements in the coming first quarter, and then they'll be hitting the shores as soon as possible.
I keep bragging about it, but Jason Cole and I were kind of on a tour last year, and the one thing we said to everyone that said, what's next? And we said, it's going to be airplanes again. Quads aren't going anywhere, but winged aircraft is the next, not just FPV vehicle, but vehicles in general, I think.
What do you guys think? Do you think that its interest has peaked? Or how do you feel, like in quads, I mean?
Yeah, I do. I think interest has peaked in them. There's only so many ways to design it. Once everybody gets on board with quads, they start racing them. You have fun for a while. I hear from some big industry players that literally say, man, I am burned out of quads. Yeah. And they go back to their roots, the resurgence of fixed wing. It's so much fun. Granted, quads are extremely challenging. Yes, and there's always fun stuff to do, and everybody who's good is getting better every day. But I love the fixed wing, man. I always go back to it. A lot of the guys say the same thing.
And as far as the racing scene, I've said it before, but quad racing is boring and a terrible spectator sport. In my opinion. I think you take somebody to a quad race and then an FPV wing race and tell them ask them which one they liked better. I think 10 out of 10 people will tell you the wing racing was more fun to watch.
Yeah, it's much more visual, much more visual.
Until they get those big giant. Remember what were those big ones that they were doing? That was like 1,000 millimeter. Remember that was on Facebook for a while. It was almost like a big.
Oh, they did it in Hawaii. The giant scale drone racing.
Yeah.
How did anything ever happen with that, or are they still on the design table with those?
There's people still trying to push it, but it's like
things are the size of a dog.
One crash wonder, you know, the first time you hit, it's over.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the interesting thing is that I think because we're all modelers first and foremost before we're even businessmen in the industry, we're having the same experience with the customers almost. I think that we're having we see something new, we all want to try it, and we try it, but then we either stick with it and we become obsessed with it in terms of multi-rotors, or we have our fun with it and then we decide, well, that's cool, but I want to get back, like you said, to our roots. And I think that's just globally within the industry and the hobby what's possibly or probably happened.
And I think that's important to the hobby in general. I think there are companies out there that don't know which way to turn or what to produce. And, the wing, I believe, or airplanes in general have always been the core of what RC is all about and the future of what RC is all about. So hopefully this will help right the industry. What do you think the FAA, while I have you on, because I would love to get input on things like this. What kind of effect do you think the FAA had on an impact on people buying hobby products in 2016?
Well, it certainly brought it up brought it to the front of people's mind. The official ruling now in America, it's not as draconian as it was initially proposed to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
You have to register, is that correct?
You have to register and have a number on it, but I have to say no one's brought this up. And
I haven't heard the registration propaganda in months, man.
Yeah. Well, we've got a similar thing happening in Europe at the moment. The European, it's ESA, I think, European Space and Air Association or organizational governing body basically has proposed a set of rules. And again, like with the FAA rulings, they were initially really quite harsh. And they're being reviewed now, but there was a lot in there that would have made it impossible to even, fly any one of those foamies behind you there, Matt, for example. They were really, really quite draconian. But they're reviewing them. We've had input. We've spoken to them and given them our input. And we actually spoke to many of our competitors in Europe and through the national bodies and got them to speak to the European governing agency. And we think now there's going to be a far more sensible set of rules. But all these rules have come about, I think, primarily because of quads, right? And multi-rotors, the consumer drones, not the hobby drones.
Right, exactly. And they all get lumped in together.
Yeah. So I think obviously something is needed. I think a definition more than anything is needed in what is category A and what is category B and what should apply to each category. But I just hope it doesn't go so extreme that it becomes counterproductive.
Like New Zealand.
What happened there?
I hear about from Bruce and all of his problems he has in New Zealand, and that New Zealand model aviation is almost privatized from a regulation standpoint. That the version of, and please somebody quote me if I'm wrong, or correct me, but
I'll quote you.
Their version of the FAA, their version of the AMA is almost they make the governmental rules about flying in New Zealand for RC. And that's when Bruce got in trouble because he was mad at whoever this private body was that did model aviation, and they basically shut him down and said you can't fly anymore anywhere. So I think and that's sort of he's gotten a lot of it back. He's able to fly now, but I heard they were very, very strong with regulations in New Zealand. I guess that may be not the case. I don't know, but
well, it would almost seem like that would be actually the dream scenario, right? Imagine if the AMA were the guys making the laws.
Yeah.
Then they're modelers at heart, so that you would expect them to be a lot more lenient and sensible, right?
Right.
Yeah, until you talk bad about them on YouTube, and they shut you down because that's what happened.
Bruce is pretty subtle, so I'm sure there's nothing.
Yeah, he's as subtle as a swift kick in the crotch.
The flip side to that is guys like Jason and I, we fly in a 30-acre field. We stay in the 30-acre field. We rarely get above 400 feet. There should be no law governing anything.
None.
If I'm staying within the parameters of reality.
You're doing your own thing. You're having fun. You're not dive bombing the general public. What's the problem?
Yeah, yeah.
Although
one of the big things about the European ones, they wanted to limit it to a very, very low weight. Like, I don't know, things like, it was a very small weight, a completely impractical weight, which would, in theory, rule out any type of model above 800 millimeters.
Under what weight?
800 mil.
I forget the weight, but it equated to about any model under 800 millimeters span would have been okay, but anything above that. So all your 1100 mil foamies, for example, that would all be out the window.
Holy moly! I hope they clean that up. As you're saying, it sounds like they are, but it always starts very, very bad, and then they whittle it out over the course of a few years. But the sky becomes online. The sky falls, right? Like everybody's crying, and everyone's it's a mass sell-a-thon. Everyone's selling off their stuff. And,
like when we launched our new website, the sky fell in there.
Well, I was
that was a mass sell-a-thon.
Toby's not here, but I have to ask, how's the new website going?
Yeah, apparently it's getting much better. I have the benefit of not having to purchase anything off of it, but yes, for the feedback that we get is that it's getting much better. I'm very grateful that's not my responsibility, but it was a massive task. The problem is the website. In reality, the website started, or HobbyKing started, and had a website that wasn't built to handle traffic that it gets, and that just started to snowball. So it became, with every passing year, it became that much more of a challenge. And was it done correct? I can't say. It wasn't in my department, but things are improving continually.
So something had to be done.
Certainly had an impact.
Gotcha.
The thing with it that really surprised me is just how personally people took it.
Join the club, dude.
Because, yeah, they
don't change my website.
Well, it is. It's their home to a lot of people, just like RCGroups is their home. And like I changed on Hilly Freak, I moved a forum, just one forum, and it went bananas. So
yeah. I think people get used to it, and it's got these little idiosyncrasies that people learn to love, and then suddenly you change that, and it's like, yeah, it's earth-shattering.
That's putting it lightly.
We have found that you can get past it, though. With time, people can get over it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think once people realize that it still has a lot of the functionality they liked from before, it's just done differently, then it'll become an easier pill to swallow kind of thing. But yeah, certainly a very interesting time there, and it will probably still be pushing that one uphill for the few more months yet.
What were you going to say, Mr. Matt?
I was going to say that when I used to work in corporate America for some big automotive companies, we used to have to take mandatory classes on change management for that exact reason, because we were going through these changes where they would change the website, they would change some of the employee rules and things like that, and people would go ballistic, and so we had people come in and teach us how to deal with change management. And it's like, oh my gosh, if you could apply that to like some of the people that experience our web forums and our websites, and then something small changes, something as small as the header image, and they're like, well, I'm never coming here again. And it's like, well, it's the same site, it's your same people. It's just, it's done for a specific reason. And you'll get used to it after a few months. Is pretty much what you have to say. But you get a lot more complainers.
Yeah, well, I think that's always the way, isn't it? If something's good, you don't really hear about it, but if it's bad, you really hear about it.
We know all about that for sure.
Well, one thing I think the only thing, and I could be wrong, that went away with your website during the change was, I think, did it lose all of the back reviews where you could click at the bottom and see what people had to say about a product? I've been going in there and they seem to be missing in a lot of products.
I believe they're there. They just haven't been brought into the public domain.
That's
what you know what I think you should do is just link.
It's a work in progress.
Let them post that on RCGroups. So whenever they review, just direct link RCGroups there. Bang, problem solved.
Problem solved for us.
Yeah. Well, Stuart, man, we're very excited about all the new stuff you have coming out. I know I'm excited about this FPV Cub, and Jason's new favorite airplane is okay. That thing's spelled funny. Tell everyone how that is spelled so they can search for it on the internet.
Well, it's like extra, but it's EFXtra.
So, and that's all one word.
That's the gag of it. We give it's the EFX with extra.
Yeah.
EFXtra. Gotcha.
EFXtra.
Marketing genius right there.
Well, and unique spelling is the key on the internet. Otherwise, you'll find every extra on earth. All right. Is there any? What time is it there, Stuart?
It's got to be 8:30. No,
it's 8 o'clock. I got to take my son to daycare in a second. But speaking of spellings, you put a thread up on the new 3D plane that we've got, and you were wondering how to pronounce it. I think Matt, that was you, was it?
That was me. That was me. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Jason. It's the Voltigeur. It's French.
Voltigeur. Yeah.
What? Cool. What's the actual literal dirty American pronunciation?
I think it means aerobatic.
Yep.
Where is that plane? Is it in the top? It's the, I'm going to pronounce it, the HobbyKing Voltigeur.
There we go.
Well, beautiful. Stuart's got to go get his kids. I hate everyone that we're not going to talk about that tricycle in the corner and that new release. But we're going to let the newest.
You know what they do here in Sydney? You know what they do in Sydney? They chuck a load of stuff out every Sunday, every second Sunday. And this was just chucked out. Perfectly good.
Your kid will love it.
Like they do, yeah. And then I've got some. Oh, Jason, this is for you quickly. So, speaking of sloping, this is my slope vampire that I packed up in one of these boxes.
I was looking at that vampire back there. That's a sloping vampire. Cool, man.
Awesome. Yeah, I ripped the EF out of it. I put nothing but glass tape along it.
You know what it needs? Slope. You got an EDF ring back there to light it up? I mean, an LED ring.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, Stuart, it's my dream to come there and fly with you guys on the slopes you have that I see your videos on. I'm so jealous of that.
We could do an exchange program.
Well, yeah, there we go.
We'll never get Jason back.
What man caves. Speaking of which, though, in the promo and the product profile for the EFXtras, which are releasing in the next couple of weeks, you'll see flying on the really nice slopes here, Jason, out in North Sydney beaches. Really very good.
Awesome.
And I think they feature in the Color Tundra video as well, which is obviously coming soon as well.
Cool. Hey, whose idea was it to make those the Tundras with the updated colors? Is that you?
Ooh, sexy.
Yeah,
good job, man.
That's my one.
Hey, what's the purple one? Is the purple one supposed to be pimp? Because it's purple and gold. It's like a 70s Cadillac.
Yeah, it originally didn't have gold rims, but then I thought, well, let's have gold rims.
That's the only airplane I've ever seen with gold wheels, and it looks like an old Jeep Golden Eagle. It is phenomenal. Yeah. I want one. I'm gonna have to purchase it because it's already been reviewed.
Well, RCGroups Plane of the Year, so we thought it's worthwhile doing an anniversary edition.
Yep.
Totally. Stuart, I have a dream of going to China and wearing my cowboy hat and walking around.
Oh, you'll be King Jim.
So are you in China quite a bit? All the time?
No. I had to not give up, but I had to severely curtail my trips across the border to China by coming to Sydney, because obviously it's that much further. But I will be going there, once or twice a year instead of once or twice a month.
Well, everyone,
just with the supplies.
Gotcha. We're talking to Stuart from HobbyKing. A lot of your favorite airplanes have come from this fella right here, so you can thank him if you happen to see him at any events. Are you going to be at any events this year, Stuart? Are we going to see?
We've got our own event coming up on the 25th of March here in Sydney. Yes, we will be at events, but I'm kind of removed from the event circle this year. But but I'd certainly like to get to any if we do. Maybe we'll do neat. Oh, we are definitely doing Jonal.
Oh,
so
great.
we'll be there as a company. I just don't know if I'll be there as an individual, which is really sad because I love the place. And then neat, I believe we're doing, and then one or two others in the US, which haven't been confirmed yet.
Cool. To all you live viewers, sorry that you got here a little late. We're talking to Stuart from HobbyKing. Jason, I look forward to hitting the field again and looking at that review on that new Speedster you got there.
Yeah, man. Hey, I say we go to Sydney in March.
Okay, I'll book it. No, I'm going to Mexico in March. Sorry. I had a dream I was in Mexico last night and somebody poured me a shot of tequila.
It's not a dream, dude. It's reality.
Matt Gunn, thanks for joining us again and all that you do for the sites. We have that killer A10 contest going on RCGroups. Check it out and make your A10 face to enter to win that. And Matt, be sure to check the video. There's a guy who is making an A10 face and making a machine gun sound.
Yep, you got it.
Stuart, finally you made it on the podcast. I can't believe it. We're excited to have you here. Thanks for getting up early.
And if you have me back when those new releases come, I'd happy to come back and chew the fat with you guys. It's a lot of fun.
All right, we're going to do it. Now you know it's not that hard to get up a little early.
Well, it's stupid. I thought it was 6 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock. So that's great.
Cool.
That's perfect.
I'm Jim T. Graham, your host, RCGroups.com. Hey, we want to thank everybody who joins us live, but also everyone who watches our videos after the fact. You can check them out on our channel. Hit the subscribe button so that you can be made aware of whenever we go live, because sometimes we get a box and we have to open it and you can watch a live unboxing of something. Also hit the like button because Jason and Matt like it when you like it. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next week, Thursday, 2 Central Standard Time, rcgroups.com. And we're going to cut out on
.org.edu
/FPV newbie hot trigger
rcgroups.gov. We are a national entity and we get funding from nobody.
And I haven't turned the switch off.
Here's my A10 face.